Hey, it's Carl from artofshred.com, and I am here with the Positive Grid Spark 40 home practice amp. I ordered this July 11th, 2021. This review is a long time coming. I meant to do this as one of my first reviews, but I still kind of don't fully know how. I didn't know how to do the review. I basically just kept putting it off. And I have used this, just to give you an idea of how much I like this as a practice amp and as a demo recording amp. I've used this on every single guitar review I've done, I believe. There might have been one or two where I only used pedals, but basically this acts as an audio interface. It comes with a USB cable. It comes with the USB-A cable. I bought a USB-C cable to plug into my MacBook, but anyway, it plugs directly into your computer and you can record. I have used it extensively. If you've ever liked a guitar sound that I've had in any review, it was probably one of the tone options in this amp. Really cool home practice amp. I paid $278. It's sometimes on sale. I think it was on sale when I bought it. I don't recall completely. It was almost 2 years ago. But anyway, great amp. Has a few features that I want to talk about briefly that I don't really use. First off, before we get into that, this amp requires the app. iOS or Android, but if you're not going to use the app, this amp is pretty much useless. The presets on the amp are generally, I don't like any of them. I don't use any of them as just a standalone. I always play through the app to have my own presets, which you can set 4 presets here from the app, so you don't always have to use the app to play the amp. But the amp also has a acoustic, bass, clean, glass, crunchy, high gain, and metal knob. I don't like any of those sounds, so I don't use them. Anyway, yeah, don't buy this amp if you're not going to use the app, is what I'm saying. But let's get to those things that I don't really use. One is through the app, you can play along to YouTube videos. So if you're practicing a song, that's really nice, obviously. I've used it, but it's not something I use extensively. But for a beginner, oh my God, that's like phenomenal, I think. I would have loved that when I was younger. And honestly, I should use it more, but I don't for whatever reason. And another thing it has, it's called I think Smart Jam. You can kind of record yourself playing and it'll listen to the chord progression and add drums and bass. So it adds a full backing band so you can practice soloing over chord progressions. Very cool feature. I also don't use it, but for practicing, which is what it's for, it's awesome. And so let me just say, it is a practice amp. It is a home practice amp, and it's good for recording demos into your computer as an audio interface. It is not a live amp. Yeah, you can use it in like a coffee shop or something like that, but in any other situation, no, that is what it is. That said, you don't need a half stack for home use, right? It's too much. So this, for most people who don't play live, this kind of amp is perfect. And I will say this is my favorite home practice amp. You know, I've tried the other similar, I guess you could say, like the Katana. Really cool. The Katana is really cool, but I like this one better. So let's talk about some other things. Presets. So yes, you can set your own presets up here, 4 of them from the app. Obviously, I use that, but the app specifically has like just thousands of tone options. Like your favorite band, somebody has created a preset for that band's sound. Like if you have any even kind of lesser known bands, but just any musical style you can think of, there's a sound. And as far as the amp models, there's over a dozen amp models. There's over a dozen pedal models. In combination, you can create so many great sounds. So anyway, I have used this amp on every guitar review video I have done, nearly every one. I think maybe 1 or 2 reviews I plugged directly into pedals with a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and this is a cool device too. It's a cheap audio interface. When I'm demoing pedals, this is what I use, and when I'm demoing guitars, generally I use tones from this. I will, in the sound demo, I'll play some of my favorite tones that I've created, as well as some others that I've found. So if you have this amp, you can go ahead in the tone cloud and download those presets for yourself. Let's talk a little bit about the tone options and the presets. So it's so fully editable. Everything, EQ, amp models, just everything, that there's just so much to play with there. So for home practice use, I don't think you can beat this amp. And a lot of people are gonna be like, probably think I'm ridiculous because, of course the Marshall is what you want, but you can get Marshall tones out of this. Yeah, it's not, obviously it's a model and not a, tube amp, but they're close. And for most people, I don't think most people can tell the difference. It's a little expensive. To get the full use out of it, I think you need to get the Spark Control foot switch, which controls those 4 presets, or it can also control YouTube videos, pausing, rewinding, stuff like that. And it can control just pedals as opposed to the presets as well. And that's $99 or so. And I've done a video on that, so please watch that accompanying video. It's not perfect. There are some annoying things. You need to use the app basically for all this stuff. This is all app-based amps, which I know for a lot of people is annoying. I really like this amp. I've said it 10 times already in this review. Let's get to some sounds. I'll go through my favorite presets. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you have any questions about this amp or anything else. Again, I've used it extensively for nearly 2 years now in every video, or almost every video I've done. So yeah, I feel like as far as a review of this amp, not only did I pay for this amp myself, but I've used it extensively, which cannot be said for most reviewers, I think, of this amp. So I'll be happy to help if I can, answer any questions. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let's get to some sounds. So as you can see on the app here, I have my 4 hardware presets up right now. And you'll actually, if you've seen a bunch of my reviews, you'll notice some of these tones because I reuse them often for a reason. I want guitars to be generally compared with similar sounds, but I don't always do that, but that's generally the case. These are the 4 hardware presets that you can load from the app onto the amp, so you can actually use these 4 without using the app. So, that is an option. You don't always have to use the app to use the amp. But anyway, let's kind of really quickly go through these 4, and then I'll show you some others, all right? So that's CMP Shoegaze 2. That was a preset created by somebody else that I slightly edited, and you can find that in the tone cloud if you have a Spark. Fuzzy KG, I use this one a lot. Thrash KG, I use this one a lot. Modern Clean Vintage, I use this one a lot. Now, let's go through some of my other ones I've downloaded. SRV. We got the wrong guitar for SRV, but that's okay. Blues Legend. I'm assuming this is trying to be like B.B. King. Let's check out some rock. Country Road KG. Pretty sure I used that one on the few Telecaster style guitars that I've reviewed. Clean for ballads. This one's not mine. Thin Lizzy. I love Thin Lizzy. But anyway, moving on. Let's check out some other tones we got here. Dime. Alternative has some of my favorite tones because they're wacky, they're just fun to play with. Not always super musical, like for example, I think this one is probably not very musical, and it's one that I created, but it's fun. Weird delay trem noise, also one that I created, and this one is definitely not usable, but well, you know, I take that back. In certain situations, that could be usable. Cool clean delay. Purple Rain, I wonder what that'll sound like. Matthew Ambiance. What else we got? Clean tremolo delay. And then it's got some bass tones, which I've never changed. Those are just the two ones that are included, and a couple acoustic ones that I also haven't done anything with. And also pop, I don't think I ever added anything here. I don't know what these sound like. In any case, that's not all. Those are only the ones that I've downloaded to the app. There is tons more in the tone cloud. Let me just like go to rock, scroll down randomly. Oh, have to log in. And if you want to just sample any tone, just click the play. Point is, you get the idea. The amp and the app has tons of options. What I'm going to do here, actually, one more thing to show you is, let's say I want to edit something. So like maybe I like heavy axe, but there's something I don't like about it. Like maybe I want a different drive. So I'll do this black op. And maybe I want less distortion, more filter. You can turn it off. It's just the amp. Give it some delay. Point is, everything is infinitely editable through the app. It's really fun. I will say, let me just state one kind of negative. The app, there are reviews online. It doesn't seem to be perfect. Sometimes people have connection issues, and I'm not saying I've never had them. In between recording the main part of this video and recording this, I actually had like my first major connection issue, and I basically had to disconnect Bluetooth, reopen the app, and it started working. So those kind of issues seem like they might happen sometimes. I don't know what to say really about that. I will say early days when I had an issue with the app, it wasn't backing up my tones, and they issued an app update within like 2 months, and the tone backing up worked. So I was backing up tones to Dropbox, and it wasn't working for some reason. And that's a thing that really isn't super important. Their customer support was responsive, responded back to me, asked for more information and all of that, and within a couple months the app was updated and that worked. So as far as that goes, I haven't had major issues with the app. My phone is a Pixel 6, has the latest Android. I don't know if that helps or not. This app says it works for, I think, Android 8 and above or 9 and above. So it should work on older phones as well, but just something to keep in mind. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this walk through the Spark 40. And there's a lot more to it, specifically the smart jam features and the YouTube playback and things like that I haven't demoed here. I will say that the few times I've used those things, I think they're cool. But again, it's not something I use regularly, so I don't have a strong opinion here or there as far as that. I like the amp the way I use it anyway, even without those features. So yeah, if you own this amp, I would love to hear what you think about it. Or if you have any questions, of course, let me know. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for sticking around. I like the app